I'm a night shift taxi driver. I've driven the outer districts for years. Airport runs, factory areas, the kinds of roads where the streetlights feel optional. You learn the city's moods that way, half expecting to see them blasting. They weren't. Then my eyes went to the rearview mirror. At first, I told myself I was looking at nothing, just the dark back seat, just headrests, just the vague sheen of wet streetlights sliding across glass. But something in the mirror was too organized to be a trick of rain. A shape sat behind me, not fully defined, more like a shadow with intention, like darkness wearing the outline of a person. My throat went dry. I blinked hard, once, then twice, kept my eyes on the road. And when I forced myself to look again, the shape didn't vanish the way reflections should. It became clearer, a woman's silhouette in the back seat, head slightly bowed, hair down, shoulders still. And then, like a tiny final insult to my skepticism, I noticed the hair clip. A small, ordinary clip near her bangs, catching a faint glint whenever we passed under a streetlight. The clip was such a normal thing that it made my stomach turn. Ghost stories are supposed to be vague. This wasn't vague. This was specific, practical, real. My breathing got shallow without my permission. I didn't turn around. I didn't twist in my seat. I didn't want to give whatever was behind me the satisfaction of being acknowledged by more than a mirror. I kept driving. The road stretched ahead, wet and narrow, lined by quiet lots and unfinished buildings. Every time the tires hissed over a puddle, I felt like the sound was too loud in the car. Every time I passed under a light, the cabin seemed to tighten, like the space inside the vehicle was shrinking. I checked the mirror again. The silhouette was closer, not dramatically, not like a jump scare, but enough that I could feel it, like she leaned forward slightly, like she was paying attention to the fact that I'd seen her. My hands started to sweat. My knuckles ached from gripping too hard. I kept my speed steady because any sudden change felt like an invitation for something to happen. For a moment, my mind tried to bargain. Maybe someone really is in the back seat. Maybe I'm just scared and missing something obvious. Maybe there's a passenger I forgot about. But that's the thing. Fear doesn't erase reality. I knew my car was empty when I entered that road. I knew it like I knew my own name. And still there she was. My eyes flicked to the side mirror, hoping for a different truth. But side mirrors only showed wet road and darkness. The rearview mirror didn't give me that mercy. I passed beneath another streetlight. For half a second I caught more detail than I wanted. Not a face, never a face, just the angle of a head, the suggestion of cheek, hair like a curtain, the hair clip glinting like a small, stubborn proof. My hands jerked on the steering wheel and the car drifted toward the shoulder. My heart slammed hard enough to make my vision narrow. I corrected quickly, too quickly, and the tires splashed through water at the edge of the lane. And in that same second, the cabin felt heavier, like the air had gained weight, like the back seat wasn't merely occupied, it was pressing forward into the space between us. I didn't look again. I couldn't. I drove straight toward the nearest place with bright lights, a 24-hour convenience store near the main road. I told myself I just needed to get out of that stretch, just needed to be under fluorescent lighting, around cameras, around people. The second the convenience store came into view, the relief hit me so hard, it made me dizzy. I pulled into the lot and parked directly under the brightest light. I didn't shut off the engine. I didn't sit there and gather courage. I stepped out immediately, letting the rain beat on my arms and face like I needed physical sensation to prove I was real. Then, I opened the back door. The back seat was empty. No woman, no shape, no silhouette, just the smell of damp upholstery and old fabric. I stared hard, waiting for my brain to catch up and laugh at itself. I pressed my palm against the seat. Cold. Not rainy night cold. Cold like the cushion had been holding something that didn't carry human warmth. I pulled my hand back like I'd touched metal in winter. On the seat near the middle, there was a single dark strand. At first glance, it looked like hair. Then my mind refused to label it any further. I didn't pick it up. I didn't inspect it. I shut the door and stood there, breathing in the bright light, pretending I wasn't shaking. The next day, I didn't want to talk about it, but the story was already on my face. Drivers recognize certain expressions. You don't have to announce anything. The others can read it the way they read traffic. When I finally mentioned the road, only the road, nothing else, a couple of senior drivers went quiet in a way that made my stomach sink. I described what I saw carefully, like I was walking around broken glass. A silhouette, the back seat, the cold, and the hair clip. One of them didn't even let me finish. His voice dropped, and he said, "That's her." Just like that. No drama, no teasing, like he was naming a familiar danger. He stared at his hands for a second, then added, "That's exactly what people saw. Same place, same detail." Someone else pulled out an old news screenshot on his phone, an article people had saved, not because they were obsessed, but because the case never sat right with anyone. There she was in the photo, young, tired, smiling, a hand resting on her belly, and in her hair, a small clip. Simple, ordinary, the same kind of clip you'd never notice, unless you'd seen it glinting in your mirror at 2 a.m. on a road that felt empty until it wasn't. After that, I didn't drive that route unless I had to. I kept my eyes forward and my mind blank. I told myself I'd imagined it, even while my hands sweated on the steering wheel. The sightings continued for months, according to other drivers. Always the same stretch, always late, always the back seat, always quiet. Then eventually the police caught the hit-and-run driver tied to the case. And after that, this is the part I still don't know how to explain, people stopped seeing her. Not gradually, not fading over time. It just ended. The same drivers who swore they'd seen the silhouette, the same ones who described the hair clip without comparing notes, all said the same thing. 1 week it happened, and then it didn't. Like whatever had been waiting, finally heard the right name spoken in the right place. I still drive nights. I still pass that suburb sometimes, though I take the wider roads now. The road itself looks normal in daylight, just asphalt, trees, sleepy houses that don't know what stories people tell about them. My backseat stays spotless. No loose jackets, no piled bags, nothing that can shift into a shape and make me doubt my own senses, because I've learned something I didn't want to learn. An empty car can still carry a passenger. And sometimes the only proof you get is a small, ordinary detail in a mirror, something so normal it makes you wish you'd seen nothing at all.